This is KGW News at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Brenda Braxton. In just about an hour at 1 o'clock this afternoon, Portland's mayor is expected to announce an emergency declaration. The order will make it easier for the city to remove homeless camps along dangerous roadways. The city just released a report showing 70% of pedestrians killed in traffic crashes last year were homeless. KGW's Bryant Clerkley has more on the problem and reaction from campers.
Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler is set to issue an emergency order with the goal of keeping those who are homeless from camping near high crash corridors. The decision comes in direct response to the city's annual traffic report that found 70% of pedestrians killed in Portland traffic incidents last year were homeless and camping near those dangerous streets.
It's not going to change anything.
Here at this homeless camp near I-5 in North Portland, Adam says he's not too happy about the idea because he says he has nowhere else to go.
In all honesty, anywhere you go in the world is a dangerous place. I mean, anything could happen at any point in time. So what makes an intersection more dangerous than going to the grocery store or riding the bus or riding the train? What is the difference?
According to the Oregonian, the emergency order would allow Mayor Wheeler to effectively ban camps in numerous places across the city, including state-owned property along highways. Don Hamilton with ODOT says they've put up boulders and fencing in certain areas to stop people from camping there, but there's just too much ground to cover.
Camping next to the side of the road, it's dangerous. It's always dangerous. It's been dangerous. It's dangerous not just for the campers at the side of the road. It's dangerous for the people in the cars.
Over in downtown Portland, Clay has been living in a tent on a sidewalk for several months. He says it's hard for a lot of houseless people to just pick up and move, even though they're in dangerous areas.
Definitely something should be done to at least accommodate making it a safer situation for everybody, you know? I just don't necessarily know if I agree with just telling them to pack up and leave, though.
That was Bryant Clerkley reporting for us. It's not clear at this point what Mayor Wheeler's plan is once people are removed from those roadside camps. But coming up on KGW News at 3 and 4 o'clock, reporter Mike Benner will be on the story. He'll take a deeper dive into the city's plan. And you can also watch the mayor's press conference today at 1 o'clock on KGW.com. Washington Governor Gov Inslee is also backing a plan to move the houseless away from dangerous roads and get them the help they need. The state estimates more than 17,000 people line major highways in Washington. A new bill wouldn't clear the camps, but it would require an action plan to get campers to a safer place.
So the people in the state need to see action this year in our communities. We know that a moral society is one that helps those most in need, and we are not meeting that need at the moment. It is a moral choice and a right choice to transition people out of these encampments, and we have come to accept this as too commonplace.
Governor Inslee says the state has $300 million to secure housing for people. The state would combine that money with a $40 million proposal to get people off the street and into shelters. Well, it is Friday afternoon, so close to the weekend. We want to give you a quick peek outside, and we will start at the Oregon coast with Newport. Lots of cloud cover over Yaquina Bay.
Saw that camera shaking a little bit, Brenda.
Yeah, a little windy out there as well, eh?
Yeah, so we have a weak front that's marching in, or will be marching in this afternoon. So really, right now, we start the chance of rain at the coast, meaning it could start popping for you folks at any moment in terms of showers. You can see the clouds that have been spreading in. We do have rain up along the Washington coast, and a little bit nipping up in Clatsop County right now. Futurecast keeps Portland dry for a couple of more hours, but at any time now, don't be surprised if you start to feel a raindrop. But most of the rain for the Rose City and down in Salem and Vancouver is still on track to be here mid-afternoon, say 3 o'clock, and then scattered showers continuing into the evening hours. Boy, the clouds have been hovering low all morning. That's still the case at noon over the West Hills. We're at 42 degrees, so warm up a little bit, get a little bit of push of some south breezes as this front marches inland. 46 at noon, again, scattered showers mid-afternoon into early evening likely. 45 still 8 o'clock. Relax. The weekend still looks dry. We'll have that forecast in just a bit.
We'll talk soon. Thank you, Rod. This noon, we know a little bit more about the firefighter who died battling a barn fire in St. Paul yesterday morning. He was 30-year-old Austin Smith. He lived in town, and according to officials, his family helped start the St. Paul Rodeo. Smith and other firefighters arrived at the barn yesterday around 4 a.m., but the fire exploded and Smith was critically injured. A helicopter flew in to get him to the hospital where he later died. Last night, people left flowers outside the St. Paul Fire Department to pay their respects. Officers and first responders held a procession for the Vancouver policeman shot and killed by a Clark County Sheriff's deputy. Donald Sahota died Saturday night in a case of mistaken identity. He was at home when an armed robbery suspect tried to break in. Sahota went outside with his gun to detain the man, but the two struggled just as deputies arrived. They fired at Sahota, mistaking him for the suspect. Vancouver's police chief says Sahota died in the line of duty. This is Vancouver PD's first fatality since the department was established back in 1883. Officer Sahota's memorial service will take place on Tuesday. Turning now to the pandemic. Oregon is sending local health officials at-home COVID test kits. The state ordered 6 million of them at the beginning of the year, and the first shipments arrived at hospitals and schools. Alma McCarty shows us where the next round of kits will end up.
Inside a Washington County office.
All right, here we go.
This handoff may be informal, but it's important.
Box is all ready for you.
And long awaited.
All right, take care.
Nancy Griffith coordinated contact tracing efforts within the county and now manages the distribution of the test kits. The boxes, filled with 90 kits apiece, are going to specific groups, to shelters and congregate living sites, to first responders, and to community-based organizations.
It is very significant. It will be a huge booster to the people in our community who have a difficult time getting test kits. We have currently about 33 organizations have reached out to us. It'll be probably a total of 50 this first week, and then we'll have more next week.
As of Thursday afternoon, Washington County's health department has distributed out about 5,000 at-home COVID test kits. And that's out of the 16,000 that they've received so far from the Oregon Health Authority. Multnomah and Clackamas counties are also beginning to receive and distribute out their first shipment of at-home COVID tests to similar community-based organizations and providers.
Centro Cultural, Self-Determination Resources, Inc., and Family Promise of Tualatin Valley all picked up their allotment of at-home tests Thursday. For the communities these organizations serve, access to testing is a game changer.
People have been ringing our doorbell nonstop every day. So we've been hearing the community loud and clear. So we're grateful for this opportunity to help close that equity gap for families that haven't been able to access due to income, due to having a multi-generational family, so there's just not enough tests to go around.
It's been a real scramble to find kits. So, it's good that they're now being made available, and hopefully, again, it can mitigate the amount of time people are isolated. People with disabilities are already isolated enough, and the pandemic has really exacerbated that to a great degree.
We want folks to be able to work. We want children to be able to go to school. And this is a very, very vulnerable population that has limited access to finances and limited time to pursue these tests. And so that's going to be our primary focus, is making sure that our shelter guests are well taken care of.
As for the general public, in Oregon, the health department recommends requesting free tests from the federal government. Alma McCarty, KGW News.